Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Mike Wing, our gameplay director, is officially back, giving us 2K26 news where a good amount of it so far I like a lot, but there's some of them that I just am not okay with at the moment. So of course, just like usual, you're going to be getting non-biased opinions from me, but first of all, I talked about it a little bit in the beginning of yesterday's video and on Twitter. 2K, you guys know I'm not a part of what I call 2K's Cool Kids Club. In the past, there was an event, that's it. You were at a disadvantage if you weren't there. You were at an advantage if you were there. Last year, they made it even more of a disadvantage, where players got to literally play the game a day or two early. Now this year, as of yesterday, certain creators, it doesn't matter who they are because I would take the opportunity, of course, I don't blame them, feed your family, are now getting news the day before or a few hours before so they can sit there, make their video all nice, and then upload it literally when the stream is still going. Meaning that people like me, not a part of the Cool Kids Club, are hours behind. That is a big disadvantage when I do news, okay? Like TMZ being 2 hours late to every breaking news. Yeah, that's a pretty big problem. And yet, you guys still show up. Yesterday was the second most viewed video in the entire community. So thank you guys. That's all I gotta say. Thank you. And then, let's just talk about the big news that I'm sure a good amount of you have seen if you're in the 2K community, if you're following Mike Wing, stuff like that. Let's start with the big one. There's no RNG in 2K26. No, there has always been some element of RNG in every past 2K, but 2K26 will be the first version to feature a completely pure green window. Now on pro or lower difficulties, you can still quote unquote make whites, but otherwise, it's green or miss. It's a celebration. This is amazing news. First of all, for the people that told me 2K25 had no RNG, I don't know, man. Go to the doctor, make sure everything's okay, because it's probably not, okay? But I need to talk to you guys. I've talked about it a little bit on Twitter. This is all for nothing. I mean, this is amazing news. Really, really good news. However, it is all for nothing if cheaters are not banned early into the 2K26 cycle and then consistently banned throughout the year. We know 2K, as of March, has some sort of system to detect cheaters and ban them. We know that. The tone needs to be set very early. I'm talking about first week, second week, that we are not allowing cheaters in the game. Not only are they not allowing cheaters, but they need to get permanently banned. That's how you set the tone. You let these guys know, if you cheat on this game, you're done. Make a new account, but you're done. That whole account, gone. And for anyone that thinks that's too severe, why? Why do you think it's too severe if someone is using an auto green tool to time every shot correctly? They need to be permanently banned. Okay, that's how you set the tone. Then a lot of the other guys are going to sit there and, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not risking losing my entire account, everything I've put money into, the games I've played. That is how we have a not cheat-free environment, because people are still going to do it. They're still going to risk it, but a lot less people. So thank you guys, man, because RNG was the number one thing I focused on, the number one issue in 2K25. And yet, here we are, not just because of me. A lot of people voicing their opinions. That's how we get to where we are at now, okay? Huge news. I love it, but we have to ban people, okay? Anyway, next, the roadmap. We are getting presentation plus my player news next week. So build type stuff, badges, it's pretty vague, but if you go off previous year's information, that's what it's going to be. We haven't had any news yet on badges. So I want to ask you guys something real quick. I'm going to take my time on these Mike Wing videos, okay? If you got TikTok brain rot and you just, oh my gosh, it's so hard to listen for a few seconds, go ahead, click off. I'm not making videos for you, okay? I want to talk about this stuff. This is the biggest news of the year, actual gameplay information. But anyway, Mike Wang has been on a tweeting spree. Do you guys want me to make one, like in the future, one giant, like hour-long video, if that is what it takes to get all the news out, or split it up between multiple videos? Please let me know, because we have so much today that I might have to split it up, but you guys let me know, and in the future, I'll make changes off that, okay? So, instantly, people were going back to this tweet from before 2K24 came out, where I asked Mike Wang, does shooting have a pure green window in 2K24 like in 2K19? If you had a certain rating plus jump shot timing the shot right meant it was always green if open. Mike replied and said, yes, the green window in 2K24 is pure and will be a guaranteed make if you hit it. Heavily contested shots may still look like full white misses, but that's just an artifact of the art. There will always be a possibly sub-pixel size green window on every shot attempt. So people were like, dude, Mike Wang, you're lying. You just said that there is a pure green window on 2K26 for the first time. The other games always had some sort of RNG. No, it's that 2K24 had a small amount of RNG. 2K25 was RNG on Mr. Olympia steroids. That is the big difference. Every time we would talk about RNG, you would get people that would be like, RNG is in every game, bro. Yes, there is some small level of RNG in mostly every sort of game. Online sports gaming, stuff like that. It is the level of RNG that we had this year that was the issue. I'm okay with a small amount, but here's where he explains it and gets people like me to be like, okay, now I understand what's going on. If you use your brain, if you critically can think just a little bit, that he's not lying here, okay? He says, this guy said, can we get an explanation for this? And he said the center of the green windows in 2K19 and 24 were pure, but we used RNG on the edges that lerped from 100% to 0. For 2K26, if you release anywhere inside the window, it will be a make. So in 2K19, 2K24, stuff like that, if you basically mistimed your shot, you got the edges of the window, there would be RNG on that because you kind of mistimed your shot. But inside, there was a sweet spot where if you timed it right, always goes in, of course, under the circumstances of being wide open and stuff like that. People freak out too much about a game where the skill gap is getting open and timing your shot correctly and not having to roll the dice and get lucky by the lottery of RNG. Just play defense. If you're not wide open, you don't have a 100% chance to make the shot, okay? Also, of course, in a correct system, the lower your three-pointer, the lower your green window. Hopefully, that's how 2K26 is. I'm sure that's how it will be, okay? So RNG, bad. No RNG, good. But it doesn't mean instantly that there's not other things that are a part of this puzzle piece, right? Like cheaters have to go. The green window has to shrink based on your coverage, of course, and your three-point rating. All that type of stuff. It does have to fluctuate. The shot contest system is a big part of if there's going to be issues or not, and more. So we need to talk about 2K, the community, getting a little bit crazy yesterday. All right. Now, if you take away the 2 or 3 worst things you heard and you really break it down, it was a lot of people freaking out, but not paying attention to what's going on. Okay, here's the big one. First look at greening a rebound in 2K26. At the time that I took this picture, Double H's tweet, just his tweet, had 1.3 million views. People were like, dude, you have to green a rebound in 2K26? That is so stupid. Oh my gosh. And then you had lots of people like this guy saying greening rebounds and posting a picture of buying the Titan device. So the Zen device or whatever people use to green their shots on 2K25 had people freaking out like, oh, they're going to be using Zins to get rebounds on 2K26. First of all, if your first thought was, I'm going to cheat on a virtual basketball game to get rebounds, what is actually wrong with our community right now? It's not a large amount of people, but dude, there would seriously be people doing that if that's what was needed to be, the most consistent at getting rebounds. Anyway, Stacks confirmed that this is all crazy. He said, I think y'all are overthinking the green rebounds thing. You've always had to time your rebounds in real life and in 2K. Now it's just showing you timing feedback. Guys, there's no meter or something. It's just, as they described it, going to give feedback to people who aren't very good at the game. They're newer to 2K or whatever. It's just going to show them if they jumped correctly at the right time for the rebound. Now, that we have that out the way, I still think that it's dumb, and I hope there's an option or something. I don't want to see a feedback on a rebound. I really, really don't. I think that is pretty dumb. I don't want to see a green every possession just because a guy jumps and grabs a rebound. But as long as it's not how people are freaking out about, because it's not, I'm okay. I just, I don't know. I was really surprised that there's people that don't know when to jump for a rebound. Like, you just jump right as it's about to hit the rim, or at least that's what I do. So that was it was going viral yesterday on Twitter. People were freaking out, going crazy, greening rebounds. Oh my gosh. Not true. Okay, not true. Now let's go into this next one though. This is about, are there any changes to the contest system? There have been a number of changes to the contest system logic. We've rebalanced the effectiveness of hands up, no jump contest, and jumping contest to better reflect how shots are impacted in real life. We're also showing coverage percentages in full shot feedback again. So kind of like they had floor general in 2K20, and you can see the percentages of how you're going to shoot at that spot. That's awesome. I like it. But we're going to have to see what the contest system looks like. That description tells us nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. I told you guys before 2K25 came out, from the description, it sounded a lot like 2K19's contest system, which is one of my least favorite of all time. I believe it was one of the worst in terms of skill gap and stuff like that. So at the moment, I can't tell you what 2K it sounds like, because that's not really a description that gives us very many hints or anything about what's going on. It just, hey, we changed this, we changed that, without really much description going into it. So this is a big one though. Are there instant greens in 2K26? This year, we made the jump shot sellies and shot feedback dynamic based on the quality of the shot. It factors in the shooter's ratings, defensive coverage, and shot timing or tempo for rhythm shots. So if you have an excellent release on a wide open shot with a good shooter, you'll get an instant green. Now, Vlad Wavy said, I'm assuming this applies to the all shots feedback too, and not just simple. And Mike said, yes, simple and all shots feedback show up at the same time. So this one, look, I don't care that much about instant celebrations and stuff. Some people really do. I would like it to be back in the game. It's not going to be make or break for me or something I can act like I care a lot about. But the fact that it's just 2K is doing too much here. Dynamic celebrations based on your coverage and your 3-point rating. Like, bro, if I green a shot, just give me the green animation. There doesn't need to be some sort of algorithm that's like, he was 23% contested and timed his shot right, but because he has a 82 3-pointer instead of an 85, he's not going to get a green celebration. Like, no, that is just, I don't know. 2K, what they'll probably do is next year they'll bring it back, okay? And it'll be something that gets people happy about the game. Like, it'll just be no matter what, if you green the shot, you get an animation right away. All right, will they have green windows added to the old meters? Mike Wing said all meters will show the green window except for the dial, arrow, and ring options for 2K25. So he did say that the meters will be coming back for 2K24, 2K25. All those will be in the game. Now, in the trailer yesterday, I don't think we've seen any adrenaline. And so that was a question where, how do these work? And Mike said adrenaline will function very close to what you're used to from 2K25, but there have been some minor tweaks. For example, if you spam too many escape moves in a short amount of time, it will drain a bar. So that's just something that we will have to see if it works correctly in 2K26. We'll just have to see if it just drains your adrenaline and you're barely doing anything. That's obviously dumb, especially if you have like a higher ball handle and stuff. But again, not going to freak out about that. We got to see it. Okay. Anyway, is there still a high/low risk setting for the shooting? Mike said no. Shot and layup timing risk reward settings have been removed. Everyone will play on the same playing field in 2K26. Love it. Absolutely love that. The whole shot timing profile stuff this year was ridiculous. All right, watching people smack 3 whites in a row. Meanwhile, you could perfectly time your shot 2 or 3 times in a row and miss because you hit the RNG of doom. Yeah, I just don't know what they were thinking. Going from green or miss back to what we have this year doesn't make any sense to me, except for a selling point. I mean, right now, in my opinion, from my perspective, everyone plays a different game. Everyone wants different things. The biggest selling point right now, there's still a lot more to know about the game, like the city, the builder, the level reward, stuff like that, is that there's no RNG. So did they put RNG on steroids this year so that they can revert it back and actually have no RNG this year as a big selling point? Probably, considering if you got, I don't think I said it, Mike Wang's first tweet back about gameplay was that there will be no RNG. Okay, so yeah, makes sense to me. Good job, 2K. You guys, amazing. Amazing at selling the game. Amazing, I can't lie. How do height attribute restrictions work for the custom layups? Height and rating restrictions are similar to 2K25 for the new custom layup packages. So if you qualified for a specific player's layup package in 2K25, you will in 2K26, including the individual normal, reverse, quick scoop, floater, euro, hop, step, and spin packages in 2K26. So not much has changed there. You do have the custom packages, and it should be around what you needed to earn them in 2K25. Can you protect even without a defender reaching on you? Does it use adrenaline? The new quick protect system that's supposed to, I don't get it. Maybe it's they added on to it, but you could already hold LT this year. So we'll see. You can use quick protect at any time, even if no one's around, and it does not consume adrenaline. People have been saying the same thing about the new catch and shoot system, saying you could already hold LT before you catch the ball. But again, they might have added on to it in some way that we don't really know yet. I don't know. Okay, I'm just telling you. All right, we'll see when the game comes out. It could be those two things right there are complete fluff to act like they added more than they actually did. I don't know. All right, so ball handlers will be stunned for a moment when they get the ball poked away from them, and bigs will play a slight stumble if they're heavily contested / blocked under the rim to give the defense an edge in recovering the 50-50 ball. So hopefully it is a little bit more than they have in 2K25, where players are not going up with horrible shots and getting their own rebounds consistently. It does sound like they have made some sort of change to that. But again, when 2K25 came out, that was an issue that they did change throughout the year, where you would, you'd get ripped and you'd just be in this massive animation. And so it's just a big argument between the lockdowns and guards on how much you should be able to recover the ball or get your own rebound, stuff like that. So that's where we're at with that. But look, the dunk meter in 2K26 will adjust dynamically just like your layups, okay? I think that's pretty important. I hope that, again, just like I was talking about yesterday for the finesse finishing in 2K26, how I hope it's a mix in the middle of 2K24 and 2K25. I think that would be a pretty good starting spot for when the game releases, for the dunk meter to be in the middle of 2K24 and 2K25. All right, because in 2K24, it was definitely a bit overpowered for sure. It didn't adjust dynamically. It should. If you started a dunk in 2K24 and a 99 interior, 99 block center jumped in the way, well, you would still have the same exact meter if they jumped in incorrectly to the system, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Of course, it should be harder to dunk on a 7'3". Just my example. 99 interior, 99 block center. But in this game, the dunk meter, they did improvements throughout the year to make it more skill gap-ish. In the beginning of the year, it was definitely just broken. And I mean, you would 99 dunk, miss stupid dunks just because there was someone near you. So I think that they got closer to this middle ground that I'm talking about between 2K24 and 25 throughout the year. But they definitely need to work on the logic behind it again. I don't think that many people will disagree with just making the logic better. So in, of course, a perfect world, a perfect scenario, it makes sense on both sides of the ball, where defense has the advantage, where the defense should have the advantage to make your dunk harder, where offense should, especially with higher ratings and stuff, have an easy chance to dunk the ball if a player isn't really there in good position and has good defensive ratings, stuff like that. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that we do have more news, but like I said, I don't know if you want to see a 50-minute video, hour-long video. Let me know in the comment section down below. In the future, I will go off that. But if you didn't see yesterday's video, you need to see it because there was a lot of news that dropped. So click this right here, tap this. It will take you to yesterday's video. You have to see it. It was a lot of information, and I'm out of here.